Sarah here at Three Little Potters, and it has been a month since I got that Vevor Mini Kiln, and I have been loving it. This is my 1-month review video for it, and I also want to try some overglaze transfers and a little bit of gold luster so that you guys can see how that works out. Before I jump into making some new products, I just wanted to show you real quick. This is some of the things that I have fired over the last month. As you can see, I've been largely doing raku with it because I just love it and it's so much fun. That fairy house is a tutorial that'll be coming up at some point.
Just a quick review on this kiln in case you missed the first video. It is pretty small. It weighs about 40 pounds. The firebox inside is about 5.5 by 6 inches. So enough for a mug, but not enough for a huge amount of things. You can get kiln shelves for it. Clay King and the Ceramic Shop both had a small kiln shelf. The Ceramic Shop, I think, was 4 by 6, and one at Clay King was in that smaller square range that will fit in there. It costs about 35 to 50 cents per firing, depending on where you are. It's 1500 watts. It plugs into a regular outlet in your home. To answer a few questions that I have gotten about this kiln, yes, you can do a bisque. It needs to be a manual sort of program that you would do yourself. So you would be sitting by the kiln, you would pick your temperature, power on, pick another temperature, power on, so that you're kind of upcycling at a slower rate than what this kiln would normally do. You know, obviously you don't expect to be able to do a bisque run in an hour, and this kiln would love you to do a bisque run in an hour, so you're going to want to slow that down manually. Other questions? Yes, works well for overglaze transfers. Yes, works well for luster firings. And yes, it works very well for raku. That's what I use it primarily for because I have a lot of fun with that.
So at this point, I've fired the kiln over 20 times and it's been working really great all of those times. I haven't seen any degrade in the kiln elements or anything like that so far. So it's been just great. It's kind of a workhorse. I've been using it a lot. But let's get into doing some overglaze decals today. So these were all purchased from Sandbow Studio. They have a lot of different ones you can choose from. In the past, I've mostly used their underglaze decals, but I do really like the overglaze ones as well. I just haven't really wanted to fire them in my big kiln because I don't do enough of them. This sort of makes that accessible again to me. And then maybe I can get rid of some of these, some of this pile. So once I cut out each one, I'm going to let it set in the water for 40 or so seconds until it slides off. I also have this sheet of cactus shapes that I like quite a lot too. So for this, I'm just trying to squish out any air bubbles and kind of get it on there nice and smooth. Oops, I don't know that I stuck that on very well, did I? So that yellow you see around the feather should burn off completely in the firing. And this is easiest to do on a flat surface where there's sort of a curve. You have to work a little bit harder to get it to smooth down. I'm also going to do a dish with a little bit of Mako's Gold Luster on it, if I have enough left. I also have a little of the, I don't know if there's much left in there either. This is the generic off of, I don't know, AliExpress. And this is just the teeniest bit left of the Mako. I can just kind of, if this doesn't work, then I can kind of go back in and fire it a little bit hotter, and whatever residue I'm putting on this will come off at that point. And since I don't have a lot of gold luster, I'm going to do some gold decals. on this cup, they fire at the same temperature as the gold luster. So,
all right, I'm doing a fairly tightly packed load in here. Hopefully those won't fall over. So I've got it on 700 Celsius. Forgive the blinking, that's just because I'm filming in bright light and I can't have a slow enough shutter speed. So once those 2 bars come on, you'll know it's heating up. While I'm waiting for this firing, here are some of the ones that I did yesterday. Just clicked it off. It's been about 15 minutes. Still cooling off in there, but it looks like it worked and everything's still standing, so my balancing act did not end in disaster. All right, I'm putting in some more with gold luster transfers, and then that one in the back here has the gold luster paint on it, but I'm not expecting that to come out since it was all dried up and watered down, so. I think these are looking pretty good so far. These look like they came out really cool. Love that crescent moon. I'll have to pull the one in the back to see it better. For the gold luster paint, I didn't really have enough of it to show any sort of gold, sorry. But I was able to try some luster decals so that you could see that. So that is a Sambao Gold Moon transfer, and this is one of their flowered ones. So yes, gold does work, and these are some of my overglaze transfers. Cactus one. I do like this feather. And this cactus as well. Really like this one too, actually. This is just on that Sheltoe clay. That's from my other dirty kiln shelf when it was bisqued. But the feather looks really pretty on that. Those luster and overglaze decal firings took about 15 minutes, but then you're waiting basically for the kiln to cool down. This holds its heat very well. So, you know, you can crack the door a little bit to speed up that cooling process, but it will take, if you were just going to let it naturally cool, it would be a very slow natural cool, just because it's so small and so well insulated. And just if anyone was curious, this was in the back row of that last firing you probably saw on screen, and it is a little bit messed up, and I'm not sure. I think user error on that one, honestly. But yeah, I got a little bit of bubbling there. And so I was trying to refire it to see if it would fix it, but it did not. So I'm probably just gonna stick it back in my regular glaze firing, burn off the transfer, and try again with something else. So just in summation, I have really loved using this kiln. You know, it's only been a month, and you can obviously see I've done a ton of firings with this, and you'll have seen some of my Raku glaze review videos and things like that. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to have a small, faster kiln, especially if you're used to waiting all that time for your regular load to get enough bisque to be able to fire and enough glaze to be able to fire. I feel like I'm perpetually waiting, and this is something that just was kind of exciting and revived that joy of opening the kiln. Yeah. So this is really, it's been a great deal. It's still working perfectly well. So check it out, links below in the description. And yeah, I'd love it if you liked and subscribed to my channel for more reviews, more glaze combos, and more pottery. Thanks for watching, everyone.